Welcome back, everyone, to another dicondissectional production hosted by Deathstroke9. Today we're going to be reacting to Harry Chapin, Cats in the Cradle. So y'all better get ready for this. Where are we going? We're going all over the place. Alright, welcome back to the channel. Hello, if you're new here, my name's Daniel, also Deathstroke9, and here we react to music. And, yeah, that sums it all up. So, if you like learning new things about songs, if you like watching me learn about different artists, because we, at the end of every video, we look up the song, look up the artist, try to figure out what the song means. I try to figure out what it means to me personally. I ask you guys what it means to you personally. And, yeah, it's just a fun time. So, if any of that sounds interesting, please consider subscribing to the channel. Alright, now, Harry Chapin, or Chapin, it's Chapin, whoops, keep messing that up, sorry. Henry Chapin is, we recently did a song called Taxi by him, and it was really, really, really good. And it's in the same vein as, you know, like Jim Croce and some of the storytelling, acoustic guitar playing greats that were often taken from us way too soon. You guys have been educating me on these people that I haven't really spent a lot of time with in my life, and that needs to change. So we're going to be checking out some more Harry Chapin. Now, as I said in my last video, I'm pretty sure I might have heard this, or the name of this song sounds familiar, okay? But you all said, doesn't matter. Dissect the lyrics anyway. Listen to the song. If you've never heard it all the way through, you need to. And I'm pretty sure I haven't, you know. I mean, it would be like, I'm almost positive it was in some movie or something, you know? Like, just that name, Cats in the Cradle, just conjures up images or memories. You know, I feel like I've heard that before. But as to having any idea what the song's about, yeah, no. So, that's what we're going to be checking out today. Link to the original video is going to be in the description. Check it out if you haven't already. But I'm pretty sure if you're watching this video, you've heard the song already. But we'll see. All right. I've got the lyrics pulled up over here. And I've got the official video off of, I don't know if Harry Chapin has an official YouTube page, but he has a topic. So that's where I am. All right, this song's a little bit shorter than the others we've reacted to by him. Here we go. 3, 2, 1, Harry Chapin, Cats in the Cradle. We've got a lot of...
A child arrived just the other day. He came to the world in the usual way, but there were planes to catch and bills to pay. He learned to walk while I was away, and he was talking for I knew it. And as he grew, he'd say, I'm gonna be like you, Dad.
No.
You know I'm gonna be like
This
you.
is going to be really sad, isn't it?
And the cat's in the cradle and the silver spoon, little boy blue and the man on the moon. When you're coming home, Dad, I don't know when, but we'll get together then.
Oh, God, no.
You know we'll have a good time then. My son turned 10 just the other day. He said, thanks for the ball, Dad, come on, let's play. Can you teach me to throw? I said, not today, I got a lot to do. He said, that's okay, and he walked away, but his smile never dimmed. Said, I'm gonna be like him, yeah, you know I'm gonna be like him. And the cat's in the cradle and the silver spoon, little boy blue and the man on the moon.
Can't pause it.
When you're coming home.
Sorry, YouTube makes me pause the videos. If I don't, they take it down. So, not always, but I gotta play on the safe side here. Oh my goodness, okay. So yeah, just that beginning of the chorus, and the cat's in the cradle and the silver spoon, and then after that it's just na 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 na, and then I can't remember anything else. All right, so that's all I knew of this song. Let's take a look at these lyrics, shall we? My child arrived just the other day. He came to the world in the usual way, but there were planes to catch and bills to pay. He learned to walk while I was away. So, it's his dad. his dad who was never there for him. That's what this song seems to be about. Wow. So Jim Croce, Time in a Bottle, Jim Croce, Operator, then Harry Chapin, Taxi, now this. You guys are going to literally rip my heart out, crush it, throw it on the floor, and stomp on it a few times. I'm just kidding. This song is, musically is beautiful. The lyrics are beautiful, but man, that is sad. Okay, he learned to walk while I was away. And he was talking before I knew it, and as he grew, he said, I'm going to be like you, Dad. You know I'm going to be like you. Oh, wait, is this going to get dark? Like the kid is just like him and doesn't play with his kids or whatever? Yeah. And the cat's in the cradle and the silver spoon, little boy blue and the man in the moon. So that's like a bunch of poetry, nursery rhymes, you know? When are you coming home, Dad? I don't know. But we'll get together then. You know we'll have a good time then. Sometime in the future. So my son turned 10 just the other day. So he's like, wow. So we went through one verse and he's 10. How fast is it going? My son turned 10 just the other day. He said, thanks for the ball, Dad. So the dad bought him something. So that shows that the dad is someone he says, catching planes, you know, planes to catch. He's like a mover, you know? He's successful. Constantly having to work, but he's obviously making money, you know? So then he's like, he's getting his kid the ball. Thanks for the ball. Dad, come on, let's play. Can you teach me to throw? He said, sorry, I'm busy. Not today. I've got a lot to do. He said, all right. He walked away, but his smile never dimmed. So he was filled with joy, coming up to his dad. Hey, Dad, can you teach me how to play baseball? And the dad just is like, nope. Sorry, I'm busy right now. And he walked away, but his smile never dimmed. The smile said, I'm going to be like him. You know I'm going to be like him. All right, let's keep going. Cat's in the Cradle. 3, 2, 1.
When you're coming home, Dad, I don't know. Little boy blue and the man on the moon. When you're coming home, Dad, I don't know.
Yes, such a good voice.
We'll get together then. You know we'll have a good time then. Well, he came from college just the other day.
Oh, wow.
So much like a man, I just had to say, son, I'm proud of you. Can you sit for a while? He shook his head and he said with a smile, what I'd really like, Dad, is to borrow the car keys. See you later, can I have them, please? And the cat's in the cradle and the silver spoon, little boy blue and the man on the moon. When you're coming home, son, I don't know when, but we'll get together then, Dad. You know we'll have a good time then.
Wow. Oh my goodness. There's so much.
I've long since
Right.
retired, my son's moved away. I called him up just the other day. I said, I'd like to see you if you don't mind. He said, I'd love to, Dad, if I can find the time. You see, my new job's a hassle and the kids are the flu. But it's sure nice talking to you, Dad. It's been sure nice talking to you. And as I hung up the phone, it occurred to me, he'd grown up just like me. My boy was just like me. And the cat's in the cradle and the silver spoon, little boy blue and the man on the moon. When you're coming home, son, I don't know when, but we'll get together then, Dad. We're gonna have a good time there.
So with Taxi, I technically started crying near the end, and now that's happened again. Okay. Wow. Okay. There's a few things in the lyrics that I kind of want to go over, so it's pretty straightforward, but that ending, it comes full circle, kind of. So, here's what I get out of this. So the dad was never there for him. Alright? Never there for him. But he always wanted to be just like his dad, and he always was trying to form a connection with the dad. And the dad did not want him around, or not necessarily around, but never had time for him. Then finally, he's coming home from college, and he's like a man now. So now the dad has time for him. He's like, oh, I'm proud of you. I'm so proud of you. Can you sit for a while? He's like, he's still smiling. It's like he realizes the irony himself, you know? So he's like, oh, now that you don't have to, like, you know, yeah. So, like, it's different engaging with a child than it is engaging with an adult, right? I mean, I'm not an adult yet, obviously, but even I understand that, you know, talking to a 6, 8, 10-year-old is very, very different from talking to a teenager, is very different from talking to a 20, 30, 40-year-old person, you know? And then up. There's a certain age a person is where you can just assume they know stuff and kind of just talk to them, right? And then if you have a relationship with them or a closer relationship to them, or if you're both open-minded enough, you can almost talk about anything. But when it's a kid, you have to change the way you're engaging with them, change the way you're interacting with them. It's harder to interact with a little kid than it is to interact with someone who's just like you. So, he was not willing to put in the work to engage with his child, to just love his child and be there for him and talk to him. And then the son is now old enough to be just like his dad. So the dad's like, all right, now I kind of want to talk to you. So much like a man, I just had to say, son, I'm proud of you. Can you sit for a while? He shook his head. He's still smiling. What I'd really like, Dad, is to borrow the car keys. See you later. Bye. Can I have them, please? It's always later. It's always putting it off. I don't know when. We'll have a good time then. See you later. When you coming home, Dad? I don't know when. It's like the thought, he's now old and he's remembering this, and he's just kind of putting it all together and realizing that he missed out on something. When you coming home, Dad? I don't know when. I've long since retired. My son's moved away. So he's done. His work means nothing. You can see that right there. He's retired. It's done. It's over and done with. Son's moved away. His son's gone as well. So his work's gone and his son is gone. And one day he just calls him up. He's like, I called him up just the other day. Said, I'd like to see you if you don't mind. Said, I'd love to, Dad, if I can find the time. My new job is a hassle. My kids have the flu. But it's sure nice talking to you. So it's like, it's sure nice talking to you. So it's as though he's being almost sarcastic in a way. That's one interpretation of it. And then the other is he's been wanting to talk to his dad the entire time. That's all he really wanted to do. And his dad constantly just blew him off. And then finally he's like, it was nice talking to you. Hangs up the phone. I'd love to if I can find the time. And I like to think that I feel like this dad, the son who became a dad himself, he says kids have the flu. He's obviously spending time with his kids. Because I feel like that's something people try to do. If they feel like here's why I think this. Because there are things that my parents do that I'll be like, man, I'm gonna do that differently when I'm a parent, you know? And then I'll talk to my parents sometimes, and they'll tell me about the way their parents were, and they'll be like, we're trying to do this differently because we didn't like the way they were doing this. We want to provide a better life for our kids, you know. And it's a cycle, you know. There's different steps to it, and I feel like most people at some point look at their other family members, or look at the people who are who try to control what they do in any way. You know, the people who are in control of what they're allowed or not allowed to do, or the people who provide for them, and look at that and say, I'm going to do it differently. So when I read this, I think that the son went on to become a more engaging or more loving to the kids, at least in an outward expressing way, than the original dad was. But that connection that he tried to form with his dad at the beginning, which the dad cut off before, now the dad wants to form the connection, but the son's like, it's gone. And so he hangs up the phone, and it occurs to him that my boy was just like me. And that's another thing that I've noticed that parents like to say a lot of times. Not just mine, but other parents, you know, or lots of different people like to say, if I have kids, I want them to be better than I am. It's just a thing that most people seem to want. People commit sins, are filled with regret, have all types of regrets and things that they wish they had done differently. And so finally it's like you get to a point where you're like, you know what, if I bring someone into this world, I want them to be better than I was. And there's a lot of psychological reasons why that would be, why you'd want that. You know, like, most people do not achieve their dreams or their goals. And then a lot of times people who do then realize that that's not what they truly wanted in the first place. So when someone doesn't achieve their goals, it's a very interesting process to watch how they then will put those expectations on their kids or on the other people around them, you know? Like, if they didn't achieve something, they want you to achieve it. Because it's almost like if you do it, then it's like they're doing it through you. You know, they're achieving what they wish they could have achieved by watching you achieve it. And they put that pressure on another person, right? It's interesting because people all do that. Very strange. I guess in the end, there is no perfect life for anybody, right? No one is going to have a perfect life. Because then, so let's say someone puts immense pressure on their kid to achieve what they weren't able to achieve. Then the kid achieves all these things, but hates their life because of it or whatever. And then the kid has children, and then they're like, they let their kids do whatever they want because they remember hating the pressure. So now these new kids are super lazy, you know, because they didn't have the pressure or whatever. It's just, what works? Is there anything that works? I guess some form of moderation, perhaps? It's interesting. But this is going off on a tangent, and now I've been talking for, like, way too long. So, all right. That was Harry Chapin, Cats in the Cradle. Thank you for joining me. My name's Daniel, and Deathstroke9. And again, if you're new to the channel, consider subscribing. Actually, we forgot to look up the song facts for this. Let's see if Harry Chapin wrote this as a personal song before we pack up and say goodbye. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you for spending some time with me. If you enjoyed, let me know what you think about the song. If it means anything personally to you, anything that you think, let me know. Let me know what I should react to next. Some people said epilogue, or not epilogue, sequel. Oh, charted #1. Yeah, of course it did. This heartbreaking song tells of a father and son who can't schedule time to be with each other, and it serves as a warning against putting one's career before family. The verses start out with a natural harmony and depict the tale of a father with his newborn son. Although dad gets the necessities of child rearing accomplished, he doesn't allow himself to put in quality time with his son because of his career. Initially, this seems like no big deal because of his hectic and oblivious life working and paying bills. The reoccurring verse has the son saying, "I'm going to be like you, Dad." Over time, the father and son grow into a switching of life roles. The father realizes his son's ambitions of college, grades, and driving, and watches as songfacts.com spins for a minute. If you want to make sure that your reaction requests are given top priority, there's a link in the description to a place where you can join a Patreon. There's a bunch of exclusive content on there, including a reaction and review of the entire Dark Side of the Moon album from front to back by Pink Floyd. All right. Man, how did we go so far down? Wow. All right. Son's ambitions of college, grades, and driving, and wants to spend more time with him, yet slowly grasps the reality that now his son has no time for such things. In the last verse, Chapin illustrates that the son is all grown up with a fast-paced job and kids of his own. In a glaring twist of roles, we now see the son has no time to spend with his father. With a heavy heart, Dad realizes that his boy has become just like him. The song is based on a poem that Harry's wife, Sandy, wrote. She told us Cats in the Cradle was a combination of a couple of things. Whenever I was on a long drive, I would listen to country music because words would keep me awake more than just music. And I heard a song. I can remember the story, but I don't remember who sang it or what the title was. But an old couple were sitting at their breakfast table looking out the window. They saw the rusted swing and sandbox, and they were reminiscing about the good old days when all the children were around, and then the grandchildren, and how it passed, and now it's all gone. The other part of the idea, this was always a problem because Harry introduced the song at all of his concerts and said, "This is a song my wife wrote to zap me because I wasn't home when our son Josh was born." I was always kind of amused by that because of the fact that we learn life's lessons too late. We don't learn lessons before the fact. Yes, I mentioned that in a recent video. We don't have a child born, then have all this wisdom. So I always thought it was interesting the way he told the story. But I learned the story because my first husband was going to New York to be a lawyer, and I had a teaching job in New York. While we were apartment hunting, we were living with his parents in Brooklyn. His father was the president of Brooklyn at the time, and which I think was a much more important job then than it is today. But every day when he got home from work, he would start talking to his son about, "It'd be great if you'd go down to the club on Tuesday night. I'd like to introduce you to some of the people I know." He started trying to engineer a career for him, which leads to politics. They did not have any relationship or communication because they had been so busy until his son went off to college and was gone. I don't remember exactly why, but he started talking to me. My father-in-law would say to me, even though we were all in the same room, "Tell Jimmy I'd like to see him down at the clubhouse on Tuesday." It was really very strange. So this is the way the evenings went. The conversation was going through me. I realized what had happened. You know, relationships and characters and personalities and all those things are formed by two. So I realized that hadn't happened. It was very jerky at that stage. So I observed something that gave me the idea for the song. Alright. Message about procrastination and missed opportunities makes this song an excellent parable for use in church sermons, where it remains very popular. Various symbols of childhood in the lyrics as reminders of how quickly it ends. Cat's cradle is a game played with string. Yes, silver spoons, ornamental spoons for babies, little boy blues, nursery rhyme, man in the moon. Could be about the human features children see when they look at the moon. Yep. There have been many covers of the song. The only one to chart is by Ugly Kid Joe, a puck-ish rock band known for their novelty hit Everything About You. Oh, wait a minute. I might have heard that before. Okay. Interesting. In the remake, he changed the lyric "Man in the Moon" to "Man on the Moon," apparently thinking the song was referring to Neil Armstrong's 1969 lunar landing. Another tweak, their version is titled "Cats in the Cradle," without the apostrophe. This indicates that there's more than one cat in the cradle, but it's unlikely the band was concerned with with their grammar. Ugly Kid Joe's version is earnest, however. He said that song means a lot to me just because of my childhood. Okay? Song plays through a Nissan commercial that debuted during the 2015 Super Bowl between the Patriots and Seahawks. I remember that. The Seahawks won, I think. They better have won. I remember, yeah. Alright, in the spot, a champion race car driver spends most of his time away from home, rarely sees his son. At the end of the commercial, he shows up in a Nissan to surprise his now teenage son. We found the ad troubling for these reasons. The idea that an absent father can show up late in his child's life and all will be forgiven. And at one point in the commercial, a driver survives a crash. Chapin was killed in a car accident. Alright. Song is used in an episode of The Office. That's interesting. That might be where I've heard it before. Wow. I remember that. I actually remember that exact thing. Wow. Okay. Alright, now this video is almost 30 minutes long and I need to shut up. Thank you guys for watching. Deathstroke 9 out. And the cats.